With a monstrous and swollen Democratic presidential field, a few of the too many candidates are bound to be swallowed whole by the unrelenting beast of 2020. Kirsten, Gillibrand, and Beto O'Rourke are two such casualties, and in their own minds, they were at one time the savior of the party. With a record number of women running, Gillibrand has a predictably weak excuse for her poor performance so far. She blames her floundering on gender bias and says she expects them to be more generally biased against women. Please don't barf your victimhood all over Kamala Harris, Elizabeth Warren, and Amy Klobuchar. Kirsten, they're busy strategizing, knitting together coalitions, and crafting policy. If they don't win the nomination, they won't be stewing in Hillary-esque self-pity, which is about as off-putting of an election strategy as promising to get the country on the metric system. Sorry about that comparison, Lincoln Chafee. Another unsurprising entrant into the irrelevancy Olympics is the first runner-up in the Texas Senate pageant, Beto O'Rourke. When the field was still relatively small, Beto attracted some attention and money. Then people found out he's an empty-headed, privileged apologist whose great policy ideas are barely exceeded by his remaining brain cells. He seemed interesting for a minute and was always busy swatting flies with those wildly gesticulating fancy hands. But his candidacy fell apart when Mayor Pete Buttigieg waltzed into our lives and impressed the panties off of us with his naval combat experience and love of Norwegian poetry. Clearly, Mayor Pete is a smarter, rational, interesting, articulate version of Beto. So who needs Mark DiCarlo when you have Marcus Aurelius? Beto continues to stumble right out of contention, and in a move of desperation, he floated the idea of running with Stacey Abrams, to which she promptly replied, "Beto wants to run with me? Oh, hell no, I'd never pick him as my VP. Put a fork in O'Rourke because Beto is done." And that's the memo.